So I would like to hear about your journey in love and dating and relationships. How did you know that the person that you married was the right one? And I would also like to hear the men's perspective on what men need and want in relationships.
Okay, so my journey has been very challenging. This is not my first marriage, so I would say that the journey has been a roller coaster. My first marriage, of course, ended in divorce. I was young, and I would say that I should not have gotten married to him. But the path to knowing whether or not to get married the second time around was very interesting. I necessarily wasn't looking to get married again because I was so young. I was 22 or 23 when I got married the first time, so I don't necessarily think that I was interested in getting married. I wanted to do something for myself. And when my husband came along and asked me to marry him, I don't know, 2-3 months later, I was like, are you crazy? No. No, I'm not getting married. We're too young for this. I was, I don't know, 25. And so the journey has been really interesting. It was a lot of outside influences to kind of push me in the direction of getting married, and because again, I was so young. So knowing that it was right, I don't think that I necessarily knew that the time was right. I think it was just all in God's plan, and I always like to say his humor, sense of humor. So his sense of humor of introducing us and getting us together in that time frame, which I thought was really quickly, but here we are 10 years later. It's not been all easy, and it's not been, and that's a fallacy that a lot of people see or think, that marriage is so blissful and you're just going to be excited and just engaged all the time and just loving and happy. Yeah, that's euphoria. That's not reality. Okay, so I do have to throw that little nugget out there, but yeah, so that's been my little journey.
I have to agree with you. It's not always like the best experience, but overall it was the best experience for me. I really enjoyed being married. I think that it's awesome when you can be in connection with a person. For me, it was like when you stop being friends, that's when you stop being interested in being married. And so there were times where we weren't friends. And so when we weren't friends, that's when I tend not to be interested, and I started, just putting more attention on other things that were important to me. And so I been married 2 times. So my first marriage lasted 7 years, and I'm proud of that. I thought that was a good run, and my second one was 4. My first marriage actually only ended because, to me, I think simple needs weren't being met. As a man, we want things, and it was like, I just wanted the house to be clean. I just wanted something to eat. I ain't really want, I made money. I took care of my family. My wife didn't have to work. She worked for about a month and a half, and after that, she never had work again. She was just at home all the time. And she was with me during some really difficult times. I was shot 12 times, October 23rd, that was 2002. And so she was who I was with during that time. And so what I actually learned later on down the line is because she stuck with me during a difficult time, that I kind of stayed in the marriage longer than I probably would have. I allowed a lot of time to pass being unhappy. So I don't know, and it is difficult for me because I'm pastor. And when I was pastor in the church, they used to always want me to counsel married couples. And I said, well, I don't know if I'm the best one, for that. because if anybody knows me, know I'm smiling all the time. And I like the smile to be real at least about 75, 80% of the time. And when I start finding myself, I think for me it was taking pictures. I would go and take pictures and I just didn't really, want to smile because it was like, now we finna immortalize this moment. You know what I mean? When it ain't real. And, so marriage is, from my standpoint, really has its ups and its downs. It's had its advantages. It's had its disadvantages. I mean, I raised my 2 sons. I got 4. I raised 2 of them and would love to have a woman in the house helping. But that's just not the case. So, it has its advantages. And so I don't know if that all the way answers the question, but it's definitely something that I'm going to do again. Something that I'm very interested in doing. I'm just really approaching it from an apprehensive standpoint, and have basically forced myself at this point to not really fall in love or really connect with an individual, even where they want me to connect. I'm with people and then they want me to really get deeply connected with them, and I just put a block up because I'm scared of going back, into it again. That's the truth.
Good. Great stuff. Now, society has put a stigma on individuals that have had 2 times. Okay, 2 times is almost like 2 times, 3 strikes you out, right? It's like, okay. Even, and I'm making this personal now, but this is not personal because there's so many people in the world who have been down this road. There's nothing new under the sun. And so there's so many people who have been down this road to say, okay, 2 marriages, divorced. Should this person really get married again? How do you speak to that? Because I heard you clearly say, Dr. Mario, that I'm gonna do it again. So how do you speak to those individuals out there saying that I still have the right to be in love, I still have the right to want love, and I'm gonna have it?
I was watching, and I don't watch Lifetime often, believe me, I really don't. But this day it was on, and I woke up and I was tired. I was like, I'm not gonna go change the channel. I didn't have no remote. And the story of Liz Taylor came on. I think that's her name. Is that the White Diamonds lady? Yeah, and it was cold. I really loved the story. Because she had got married like 4 or 5 times, and she just went for what she wanted. She decided she wasn't gonna live unhappy. And I said, that might gonna be me. That might be me. and I don't want to break nobody's heart. Believe me, I just have ended up being the bad guy when I did not want to be. So, getting back into it, I've had some flags drawn. I've talked to individuals and they're like, well, you've been married twice. I don't know if I really want to get back into that thing. And it's like, well, hey, this is just what comes with me. Or you got 4 kids. Yeah, I got 4 kids. But most women, let me not say that. I'm not gonna say that. Some of the women I've encountered,
Right.
rephrase.
You are on the record, Dr. Mario.
Standards really have been more monetary based rather than, you know what I mean? They're like, well, you got the money, you got the kids, you got the money, you can do this. And, just haven't really found somebody where I would want to get back into that type of relationship at this point. But I think that you should just be happy. My mother, she's comfortable with me talking about this, but they recently came up on their 42nd year anniversary, but divorced on their 41st. And so, to me, that is more devastating than being married multiple times. To spend 4 years with an individual. She told me, she said, a lot of those years, not most of them, but a lot of those years were unhappy years. And I said, well, Mom, you're 60 years old now. She's 59. I just play with her until she's 60. And I said, what are you gonna do now? You know what I mean? I don't want to end up 50, trying to figure out what type of person I'm gonna connect with. I would rather, do it while I'm young. But so I'm scared to get married right away. And I will say this: my first marriage, I got married out of conviction. I got saved, got some demons cast out of me at the church. I was a new creature. I said, then I went home and my girlfriend was at home. I was, we call it shacking.
Yeah, they hit you with stuff.
Yeah. So I'm like, I felt so deeply convicted because I'm like, this is the way it gotta be. Pentecostal, this is what gotta happen. I gotta get married. 18 years old, I get into a marriage. Found out she was pregnant afterwards. So that marriage I didn't do because she was pregnant. I did out of conviction. But my second marriage, I was pastoring and had a girlfriend. Did some stuff I probably shouldn't have did. Because I was supposed to abstain, but I didn't abstain, and nor did she. So she got pregnant.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I'm like, how am I gonna get up and tell the church this? You know what I mean? So we went and got married. And then we figured, with the months being pregnant, nobody would ever calculate it. You know what I mean? And we just did that. And then 2 years into this, things are not going well because I jumped into something based off of trying to make other people happy. And I will say I'm never going to try to make somebody else happy about who I'm with ever.